ever since I've been here, almost 30 years, you have been so special to me. I've always admired you and your family, and my family really, admire your work and what you've been doing for the community, for women. You're a life coach. You're in the real estate business. I have so much I'm going to pull out of you today.
Pull it out. Pull it out.
And I do hope that there'll be somebody out there who will be able to hear what you have to say and start dreaming again, because they can do it. Tell us something about you. Tell who is Lady Trudy Finlayson?
Well, I just like to say I am the disciple whom Jesus loved. I don't like to go by titles, but a little bit about me is I am a real estate entrepreneur, and I'm also a licensed realtor and mortgage advisor. And what I love to do is to help people in an area where I found a lot of difficulty and a lot of ambiguity in terms of what was actually needed. And I got started in the real estate industry due to us losing $5,000 back in, I believe it was 1984.
$5,000.
$5,000.
That was a lot of money back then.
Yes, it was a lot of my hard-earned money back then. And I just made a note to myself and to my husband. I said, you know what, I'm not going to let a lack of knowledge cause me to experience loss, because we're all going to experience loss, at one time or another. But I wanted to make sure that it wasn't for my lack of knowledge. And so I was working in aerospace, working, as a matter of fact, at Hughes Helicopters, I believe, at the time. And I went back to school to learn mortgage banking because I wanted to know everything there was to learn about money, because I didn't want to just always have to work for money. I wanted to learn how to make my money work for me.
So is your money working for you now?
Oh, yes. Thank God. Thank God. I don't want to sound boastful, but I'm very grateful. And it was that knowledge, taking that time to invest in myself, to gain the knowledge that I needed. And so when we had the aerospace big crash and I just had my second child, I was really blessed because I had different streams of incomes that I could transition from working in aerospace as an engineer to doing real estate full-time and mortgages, and be there for my family also.
Okay, because I know you're a family person.
Yes.
Okay, you are married with 2 children?
No, I have 2 grands. I'm married for 33 years to Mr.
33 years?
Yes. Yeah, there's God.
It's a blessing.
Yes. It is a blessing, and I'm very thankful. My husband, Chuck Finlayson, and we have 4 beautiful children, and my 2 grandchildren who call me Nana. So God has been good and life has been good. But what I found out, God is good to everybody.
He is.
God loves everybody.
He is.
But there's certain things that we have to do. There's certain things that we have to put in place or position ourselves in order for God's already blessings that He's provided for us to come to us. Because God is not favoring Sister Trudy over anyone else. I positioned myself so that I could move from struggle to success.
Okay, so I know that was a journey for you.
Yes.
If there's someone out there who had a dream, they really wanted to be somebody, but life, has hit them and they're down. What is that one thing that you did, or a few things that you did to pick yourself up and to go again that you could share with them?
There were several things, and that's an awesome question. Thank you for asking. Let me just go back a little bit and tell you a little bit about myself. I'm the youngest of 8, and I'm from Chicago. So doing the things that I'm doing now, people, probably never expected for us to be able to do. But I never let my current circumstances define me.
I appreciate that statement.
I did not let what society said I was, as a female, as an African American. I refused to allow the dictates of society and the opinions of people, and sometimes it's family. And not that they mean you any harm, but when you're saying I'm going to become a real estate entrepreneur, they're like, girl, you should just stick with that job that you got.
Yeah, they don't understand.
They don't understand that. And so, just like when I got laid off, because I had prepared myself, I had another vocation or another stream of income, I was able to transition. But, when we had the downpouring in 2009, I closed up my shop. We had a coffee shop at that time, which was an avenue for us to give back to the community.
That's good.
And so, but I had to close it all down, because people always say, well, Trudy, it's easy for you because, you've just been so blessed. And I'm like, no. God's blessings are on all of us. He gives us the power to obtain wealth. But power is the ability to get a result. So I took the time to study to show myself approved. Okay. I took the time to spend time at his feet and not just do what everybody else said, but to do what I felt was authentic and in alignment with who God uniquely created me to be. And that meant sometimes, naysayers, even people who meant well. They meant well. They wanted to keep me safe. That's all. They didn't want me taking unnecessary risks. So they really meant well. But they didn't understand about vision and about how if God gives us a dream, then he will fulfill it. And if the dream isn't bigger than us, then maybe it didn't come from God.
Okay, that's a powerful statement. The Hope for You radio show with Lady Trudy. Lady Trudy, there's just so much that I want to unpack today. Because I know you're a businesswoman, you're a minister, you're a wife, you're a psalmist. There's just so much. I don't know if I have enough time. I'll have to get you to come back some other time.
I'll be here.
But you're known for crediting your parents as being your mentors. What are some of the best advice you received from your parents that make Trudy who she is today?
Oh, wow. And that's so true. My parents, they weren't perfect parents because nowadays everybody thinks they're going to have a perfect parent. But my mother always told me there's no such thing as can't. No
Good.
such thing as can't. And my dad always told me, he called me Sugar Babe. Sugar Babe, you could be anything you want. You could even be the president. I mean, now, that was before Obama got into the House, okay? Now, we're talking about in the 60s. But my parents really instilled in me no excuses. If you can't make a dime, make a nickel, meaning start where you are, begin where you are. That's the key to achieving any goal or dream. And I'm just so glad because parents, and that this is just one subject that is dear to my heart. What we pour into our children, they will remember. And it is so important that we tell our children that they are unique, that we explore with them their gifts. I'm so glad that my father never tried to stifle the who I was. He would just tell me, you got to learn in every different situation how to act. But the fact that you could be anything that you want to be.
That's good. That's good advice.
Dream big.
Yes.
So I learned how to dream big, and I have an acronym for BIG, B-I-G, believe in God.
Wow. That would help somebody. Believe in God. Dream big. B-I-G means believe in God. I know you are a firm Christian, and I know you are also a psalmist. What has been going on with you in that area? Are you still doing praise and worship for different churches? Or?
Yes. Yeah. I tell everybody, I'm a worshiper by nature. That's who God created me to be.
Perfect.
And I love to teach. My grandmother, as a matter of fact, used to say, one day, girl, you're going to be a teacher. And, now I'm teaching and doing classes because I really want to empower other people to know the power of their dream and to have a plan, because so many people, they have what I call a wish, meaning I wish I could do that. But when I say, where's your plan? And they look at me like, I'm like, oh, honey, we got to get it out your head. We got to get it on paper to perception. Right. If we want this thing to manifest, there's certain steps, practical steps that we can do that will cause this dream to come to fruition.
Okay. I want to ask you something. You mentioned a wish and a dream. What's the difference between a wish and a dream?
Okay. A wish is just something, I wish would happen. But when you got a dream, you're going to take the time, you're going to define it. You're going to define what that dream is, and then you're going to do a plan so that you can have a step-by-step blueprint of how to get you from where you are to fulfilling that dream. Case in point, when I wanted to learn everything about real estate, I took the classes. I went to school. I said, what is it going to take for me to learn about the mortgage and real estate industry? So number one, I'm not taking advantage of it again, because people are destroyed for lack of what? Knowledge.
Yes.
I mean, and that just bears truth. If we don't have the knowledge to know how to take advantage, then we position ourselves to be taken advantage of. So you got to define what it's going to take. Invest in yourself, in your skill set.
Right.
Grow yourself and know that you are valuable. Know that you are unique. Created for a purpose.
That's it.
So I try to instill that in everyone so that they can realize that, I have a dream. And if I'm still living, my dream is important. My dream counts. I just turned off my phone. I'm sorry, y'all. But that your dream matters. But if you
That's
want
right.
to take it from a dream, then you got to get a plan in place. And then what you have to do once you get your plan is you have to pursue it. Nothing happens unless we take action.
Okay. There's something that personally I do believe that everyone that's on earth has an assignment.
Yes.
There is something for everyone to do. And there's just so much to go around that we don't have to compete. We don't have to try to do what others are doing.
Yes.
But we can do what God has designed and called us to do. And that's what I want to get out there. Sometimes people or individuals, because they want to be like this person and they want to be like that person, and if they don't see themselves heading in that direction, sometimes they feel like, I'm not going to make it. Like you said earlier on, I hate hearing people saying, I can't make it. I'm not going to make it. That's kind of my drive for this show. To let you know you can make it.
Yes.
Doesn't matter what your situation is. You can get up. You can do something.
Yes.
Start somewhere because you can make it. You're here on earth for a purpose. You have purpose inside of you. I just want to pull it out of you and head you in the right direction, take you in the right direction until you make the right connection, and then just see you fulfilling your dream. I also know, Lady Trudy, that you do some life coaching.
Yes, ma'am.
Do you have like clients, or do you have how is that going?
A lot of times I'll have clients that I'm coaching personally, individually, but now my schedule is such that in June we're going to be launching a group coaching class.
Whoa, that's good. Congratulations.
Thank you. It's called the Attraction Factor. And a lot of people believe, I can just think it and attract it into my life. But my whole point is positioning yourself from the inside out.
That's right.
From the inside out, so that you can be and achieve your God-given dreams and goals.
And I so believe that.
Because, it's not that I'm so special. I mean, you have your own show now, and kudos to you, and thank you so much for inviting me. But it took you from having this show, you had to have a plan.
That's right.
And then you had to take action.
Right.
And I just want to let everybody know, wherever you are today, and sometimes I meet with individuals who feel like, time has passed me by. If you're still living, it's not too late.
It's not too late.
God has a plan and a
too late.
design. And all you have to do, first of all, is to believe that you are who God says you are, which is more than a conqueror.
Conqueror, yes.
And that you can do what God says you can do. He says you can triumph in all things. So the key is to believe that more than you believe the opinions and the thoughts of the world, or even sometimes your friend. To really invest in yourself until you know that, hey, by the grace of God, I am who I am, and by His grace, I can do what He said I can do. You may make mistakes. I made plenty of mistakes.
We all make mistakes in the journey.
But I learned from them.
But they're a learning process for us, and we picked ourselves up, we learn from those,
Yes.
and we decide to move on. Lady Trudy, I remember having a conversation with you some time ago, and you shared with me that you have developed a 3 steps process to fulfill dreams, if I'm remembering correctly.
Yes.
And these were developed out of your own experience, I believe, and maybe from studies or whatever. I'd like to get into some of that on today. I remember you saying one of the steps were moving from struggle to success.
Yeah, moving from struggle to success, what that's about is actually having a plan to define your dream. So the 3-step process for, making your dream a reality, because, like I said, is it a wish or is it a dream?
That's right.
So in order to do that, step number 1, you got to define it. What do you want? I mean, really, I ask people this, and I'll say, what do you want? And they'll look at me like a deer in headlights, because it's so much noise and so much chatter that to take that time to go within and define what you really want. Not what society says, not what you think you want, but what do you really want that's in alignment with who you are, your values.
Yes.
Because at one time I thought my children were young. I was like, one of my mentors, I coach in Hattie, I used to go in and minister and serve with them. I was a boss trainer, Hollingsworth. And I said, oh God, I want to be like Hattie. I want to travel, and I want to sing, and I want to teach. And the Holy Spirit said, you have small children at home. You can't want what Miss Hattie is doing now, because that's not the season of your life right now. And what do you really want? So what I really wanted was to be a blessing. I wanted to be able to share my
that's
gifts.
The most important thing.
Yes, with other people. And instead of me trying to copy someone else, God taught me how to uniquely be me, use my gifts in whatever season I'm in. So step number 1, if you want to turn your dream into reality and manifest it, you got to define it. What do you want? What do you really want?
Because that's something that people are having a hard time defining, because everybody wants to be like somebody else. And sometimes what I have found out, you may know what you want, but people think that's not for you. Have you ever come across that?
Oh, yes.
The naysayers who say you can't do that, you shouldn't do that, don't do that.
Yes.
How do you deal with that?
Well, you know what? Again, it goes into, thank you for that information. But I've learned not to rely on the advice of other people who don't have to live with the results of me taking that advice.
Oh, whoa, that's a good one.
So it is, thank you for the information, but I've got to stand on what I know is authentic for me. And again, we're getting back to, do you know you? You got to know, love, and grow yourself. Do you know what you want? So step number 1, define it. And then step number 2, you got to design it. That's where we write the vision. We make it plain.
So they'll understand it and they'll run when they read it.
That's it. So you got to write that vision. And what steps do I need to take? What information do I need to grasp? What skills do I need to attain so that I can live this dream? And then number 3, you got to deploy it. Faith without works is dead. You got to deploy it. You got to take action. You got to move out. And let me tell you, you may make some mistakes, but imperfect action is better than no action at all. So you do want to take the time. I'm not saying just go out there and just do anything.
Yeah, that's right.
You designed it, but sometimes you got to know, well, this doesn't work. And that's what I say. For me, life is all about learning what doesn't work, what does work. When I closed down the coffee shop and brought my office home before I started out in an office when we had the recession in 09, I learned some things. One valuable thing is have more than one stream of income.
That's very important, especially in these days.
Yes.
More than one streams of income. I do believe in multiple streams of income. There's another question I need to ask you. You're saying you should know who you are, know what you want. There's sometimes you may desire to be somebody or desire to do something, but that's really not you.
Yes.
How do you coach people in that area?
Well, what I do is I have them take an assessment so that we define what they think they're good at and what people have always told them that they're good at. Because a lot of times people will tell you, like, I'm always talking to people, so it doesn't take, anybody to say, oh, you know what, you can speak. So, taking that time, but again, it's going to take time.
It will take time.
You got to, disconnect from all the noise and get to
Very
know
important.
who you are.
That's key. Disconnect from all the noise and listen to your inner being. Listen to yourself and to God.
Yes.
There's something I saw on social media, I think just this week, and I'm really holding on to that. If you want to please God, you have to disappoint some people. You can't please people and please God at the same time. Saul did that, and he lost, the throne, so to speak.
Yes, he did.
You just have to please God, and for me, pleasing God is more important than pleasing anybody else.
Yeah.
God's first.
Saul literally sabotaged his own dream.
He did.
He sabotaged his own dream because he was trying to please people.
The people.
And let me tell you, people are real fickle.
And you can't please people.
No,
I'm telling you.
Not all the
time.
time.
You can't please all the people all the time. You just can't do that. You do one thing and they're happy today, but they want to change on tomorrow. And the same people that are cheering you on today, tomorrow they're saying, I don't think you should have done that.
Yeah, look at Michael Jackson. We can look in culture. There was a time when everybody was putting Michael down, and then when he died, he got popular again. So I just make it, one of my core values is that I don't live off the applause of people. Therefore, their criticism doesn't feed me either.
That's right.
Where do you feed? And I'm always asking, where do you feed? Where do you get your nourishment from? What are you growing and learning from? And for me, the Word of God.
The Word of God.
That I feed from that. And I refuse to allow my past to define me. I refuse to allow people to define me. And I have learned, and I just set myself in agreement to what God says, because I just think that God knows better than everybody else.
He knows better than. Well, the Bible said, "I know the plans that I have for you." So if
Yes.
God knows the plans that He has for me, Why should I be listening to you? I mean, as far as I know, there is really no vacancy on the board of the Trinity.
You know what?
So it's about him.
That's so true.
And I want to
so
listen.
true.
Want to listen to him.
And
so there's another point I'd like you to address. Also, is overcoming obstacles. I know that you come up against that when you have your clients coming for coaching.
Yes.
How do you coach them along that line to overcome obstacles?
What I've learned is the problem is not the problem. It's your perspective on the problem. So if you're going to overcome an obstacle, you have to first sit back. Because if you're just focusing on the obstacle or the problem, you're not going to see the solution. And what you focus on, you will attract. So when there's a challenge, because I know that God is a problem solver. I'm created in His image.
Oh, yes.
So I'm a problem solver. So, and I want everybody out there, join and say with me, I am a problem solver.
I am a problem solver.
God has given us that gift. And so what I tell my clients and what I personally do is instead of me saying, oh, this is so horrible, Holy Spirit, what are you trying to teach me?
That's right.
What's the solution? I do my research. I find out if I'm working with a client and we're trying to close a transaction on her mortgage. I got to find out the underwriting guidelines. When I have a challenge that comes in with getting them financed or buying them a home, or in my personal life with my children.
Right.
Why are
Which
they acting
do
like
so well
yes,
right now?
Yeah. It goes in spurts. I'm gonna be honest, but I thank God for them. I love them,
and also mommy.
The thing is that I tend to not look at problems as problems, but as opportunities to learn.
That's right.
What are you teaching me?
So when the problems present themselves, you use that as an opportunity to learn.
Yeah, don't freak out.
That's good. Don't freak out.
Don't panic. Don't panic. God's still in control.
That's what I was going to say. He is still in control. He's still in control. We're here today with Lady Trudy Finlayson, and she has been giving us some really, really, really good information, and I know that it's helping somebody out there. But we would like to hear from you. The number to call is 310-910-9676. Let me give you time to get a pen and a paper so you can write this number down, get to your phone and call 310-910-9676. If there's something that you want to share or a question you need to ask about something that we have shared, feel free to call us. I want to go back to Lady Trudy, and I'm going to address what we were just talking about, Lady Trudy, talking about the problem and the solution, not to focus on the problem, but there's a solution, focus on the solution. Let's go back there.
Yes, even what I tell my clients, I help them get the right results. Typically in my real estate and mortgage business, there's 3 obstacles that they have to face, which is their credit, lack of down payment, and misinformation.
Oh my God, we all have to face that.
but there are solutions to that, and so I help them work through that. And what I'm saying is that I've had people that they thought they couldn't buy a house because of their credit, when in actuality, 3 months later, I was able to help them position themselves where they could.
Everybody needs to be seeing you.
And, or a homeowner that thought that this is the only way that I could sell, or not knowing, but, taking it from that to just the everyday life problems, because in this world, we're going to have, I call them challenges.
Sure.
And they're all there for us to learn. Mm-hmm. But one thing that you want to do is you want to realize that there is a solution.
Mm-hmm. So let me ask you something. You think, and I'm just asking this from my listening audience, you think that to every problem there is a solution?
I know that to every problem there is a solution.
I believe the same.
I know that there is a solution to every problem, but if you're focusing just on the problem, you'll never see the solution. And we go into panic mode and we call everybody else and we're stressing, and that's harming our body. Just take a deep breath. Write down what the problem is and then think about it. Now, if I had a friend who came to me with this problem, what would I tell them to do? What would I tell them to do?
That's a good way of looking at it.
Because it gets us out of our own box. Because somebody has encountered this 9 times out of 10 before.
That's
There's
right.
no new thing under the sun.
Nothing new.
And what would I tell them? And if you say, well, I really don't have the information or the foundation to even address that. Okay, well, where would you tell that friend to go? Let's do some research. There is a solution. And I just believe that we're overcomers. So we overcome all problems. We overcome all situations. And even if the problem doesn't change in terms of like people, you can't, you can't change people. You can only change yourself.
That's right.
So sometimes the solution is removing yourself from toxic situations and from toxic people.
Oh, I'm with you. I'm with you right there.
Yeah.
Toxic situations and toxic people.
Yes.
Got to take care of you.
You do.
Yeah.
You do.
Mm-hmm. Now, what are the key steps? I wanted you to share that. And I'm just going back because of conversations we've had in the past and sessions that you have held, and also, what do you call social media postings that I've read. And I've noticed you said something once about the key steps.
Key steps.
Yes. What are these key steps to dealing with these type of problems?
The key steps to overcoming any problem, first of all, is you have to believe that there is a solution. Number one. Mm-hmm. Number one, you have to believe that there's a solution. Number two, you can't stress about it, because what I've learned is stress doesn't change anything but your health for the worse.
Wow.
Stressing about it is not going to change the situation.
Right.
So you want to realize that there is a solution, and then you want to take that time through the word. I mean, half the things that people are dealing with, I would say everything, more than half, you can find it. It may not be, straight out in the scripture, but I love, love, love the book of Proverbs. So much wisdom in there for relationships, for business, for ministry. So when you know that there's a solution, and we know that we have the solution solved, but we sing the song, Jesus is the answer. But how do we make that real? I meet a lot of Christians as a minister, and, we sing songs in church, but how do we make that real? And that's by tapping in to God. Daniel had a problem. He was dealing with a king. Some of you got a boss like that. That's crazy, right?
Right.
I mean, Nebuchadnezzar was a straight out fool. He was just acting crazy.
He was crazy.
He said, I don't remember the dream. And I want you not only to remember the dream, but to interpret
the dream.
Interpret the dream,
Oh, my
or else he
God.
was going to kill everybody.
Isn't that crazy?
Now, did Daniel have a problem?
Well, yeah.
Daniel had a problem.
Major problem.
But Daniel knew, I can't panic.
He knew his source.
Exactly. He went to the source. He disengaged from the noise of all the other advisors, because not only was his life jeopardized, but he was going to kill everybody, like I say. And some of you might be thinking, I got a boss like that, but God's got a solution for you too. He took the time to go to God, and when he went to God, he got the dream and he interpreted. Because there is nothing that we encounter, nothing that we face that is greater than the power of God within us. And we got to believe that.
That's right. I just want to tell my listeners out there, if you guys want to pitch into the conversation, you can call 310-910-9676. That's 310-910-9676 if you would like to pitch into the conversation. Okay, let me go back to Lady Trudy. You wear many hats. And how do you prioritize? Does Trudy have a downtime? I mean, do you have time to rest? Do you have time to relax? Do you have time to get away with just family or just with hubby? How is hubby doing?
He's doing well, and we have a date night.
Oh, you have your date night.
We have a date night. I do prioritize. There was a time in my life, I'll be very honest, I had the Martha syndrome. I was just busy.
What is the Martha syndrome? I know what you're saying, but tell somebody.
I was so busy, and a lot of the things I was doing was the right thing, but I was jeopardizing my own health. I wasn't prioritizing my relationships that were so valuable to me.
That's right.
And I had to, and when the downturn happened, one of the lessons that I learned, one of the best things was it gave me time to really refocus and define what was important, especially when my mother died. I mean, my mom.
It was a very traumatic and hard time for you.
She was my rock. Miss Naomi was my rock, my cheerleader, my inspiration, my shero. I saw that woman move across country, and she didn't know. I mean, and this is in the 60s. I saw her, when we moved to California. I'm sorry, that was in the 70s. She moved from Chicago to California in the 70s. A single woman. Wow. She bought a house, after her and my father divorced and separated. She still bought a house. So I saw her move forward. And I've just said that, I got
a few things from her.
I did. I learned to prioritize. I take my time for me. Self-care is not a luxury. It is a necessity. Mm-hmm. And when I'm talking self-care, I'm not just talking about my massages, which are critical, but my time with God. That's the most important thing.
Very, very
I have to have that time to stay connected, because, see, when I'm connected with him, I know he's guiding me. Trudy, she'll make a mess of it. She'll tear it up from the floor up, okay? So when I wake up every day, my focus is on gratitude. And Father, what would you have me do this day?
Very good. So you have your quiet time with God. That's
Yes.
the start of Miss Trudy's day.
Oh,
You must have the quiet time.
I got to keep the main thing, the main
Keep
thing.
the main thing, the main thing.
I have to, because He is my source.
And do you have children still in school, or what's
I
going
do. I have Miss Tori. She's graduating from high school, going to Azusa Pacific.
this year?
Yes, yes.
Oh,
My
congratulations.
baby. You know, I'm
She's
having a
growing
little.
up.
Yes,
She's
I
growing
know.
up. They
Last
grow up
one.
so fast.
And one thing I didn't know was that these proms are like little mini weddings. I'm
Ooh.
like, oh my gosh.
She had a prom?
She did. She
Oh,
did.
that
She
must
had
have
a
been
prom.
so beautiful.
So I prioritize with my kids. You know, I'm like the woman on Soul Food. If I cook dinner, I know they'll come. If I cook, I know they'll come. So, making sure that on my weekly schedule that I have what's important to me. See, I can look at your schedule and I can look at your pocketbook and I can tell what you prioritize.
That's good.
And I've learned
That's true.
to do
I've learned
that.
that. I've learned that. Yeah.
If my relationship with my husband is valuable to me, then I'm going to take the time to spend time with him. Friends, returning phone calls, if it's valuable, I'm going to take that time. We all have 24 hours in a day. And the one thing that I'm constantly working on is managing my time better.
Time management.
Yes.
Because I'm there right now. There, God is just opening so many doors for me. Lady Trudy, it's like He's opening doors I did not even knock on. And I'm wondering now, be careful what you ask for.
Yes.
Because I ask Him to bless me. I pray the Jabez prayer and
Mm-hmm.
enlarge my border and my territory. And He's just doing so many things right now. Not just for me or for my husband, but also for my family, my daughter Michelle,
Yes.
and my son-in-law Rusty, Pastor Rusty Collins and Michelle. They're just doing awesome, and I'm proud of my family. And of course, we have Lady Trudy Finlayson with us, and we have touched in so many different topics. And we're getting close to the end of the show on today. And I'd like Lady Trudy to address you that feel so hopeless. Like, I can't get up from where I am. I'm hearing you. I want to move, but I just feel stuck. I want her to say something. I address them.
First thing I like to say is feeling stuck is just that. It's just a feeling. That's not your truth and that's not your reality.
That's right.
So what you can do is you can say to yourself, I am a problem solver because I'm a child of God.
I like that.
And God lives in me. Sometimes you got to encourage yourself right where you are. And you say, oh, I said it the first time and nothing happened. Well, you know what? You got to keep saying it. And pretty soon, because faith comes by hearing, what you say, especially what you hear out of your mouth, that will increase your faith. So get the word, get a solution on it, and begin to speak that word. Speak life over yourself. If you're still here, you're here for a reason. So many have gone on before us. Look at Prince. He's not here, but you're here. And that's because you have a purpose and God has a plan for your life. So go to the source, go to God. Ask Him to give you the strength. And then read the word, meditate, speak the word. Don't speak what your situation looks like. Speak life, speak what God says. I am more than a conqueror. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. My latter days shall be greater because God said it, and that settles it. Right now is not your destiny. It's just a stop. And I always tell people, don't buy real estate in the valley. That may be where you are, but you got to keep moving. You got to keep moving because God's got you and you got this.
That's right. So I'm so happy to have had you on the Hope for You radio show. We are here every Friday between the hours of 2 and 3. And I try to bring guests on this show that has something to say. There's a lot of people that's saying something, just talking, but not really saying anything. So I bring guests on the show that has something to say and that will make a difference in your life. I love you. I just want to see people succeed. I just want to see people do well. There are too many people out there that are gifted and that they're talented, but they just need someone to push them. They just need someone to motivate them, someone to pick them up and say, get up, you can make it. And that's my life dream. I like to empower people. I like to help people. I wear many hats. I'm a pastor, I'm a coach, I'm a counselor, I'm a hospice chaplain, of course, the most important, wife, mother, grandmother. So I wear many hats, and that's why I was asking Lady Trudy, how do you prioritize? But I start off my day with prayer. I spend my time with God, what do you want me to do today? And sometimes I do a little of everything. I just want you out there, all those that are listening to me today, I want to let you know that where you are is not where you have to stay. Your present situation, and I've said this so many times, your present situation is not your final destination. God has a plan for your life. Things will be better tomorrow. Don't think it's always going to be this way. No doubt I've been where some of you are. And Lady Trudy might have been where some of you are today. But God helped us. We looked to the source. And, he gave us a solution. He helped us. And that's why we are here. So God bless you. Thank you for tuning in to the Hope for You radio show. We will stream this on YouTube, and you'll be able to see everything that was discussed and everything that we have said. And thank you so much. And I will see you next week, Friday, between the hours of 2 and 3. Thank you so much for being a part of this show on today. And thank you, Lady Trudy, for taking time out of your very busy schedule to be with me.
Thank you for having me, Dr. Hope. I appreciate it.
Blessings.